You know, the more time goes on, the more I will fail to understand anyone who actually defends a subpar product for any reason whatsoever. Whether it be your time or your money, what is yours is valuable, and companies seek that. That's why marketing is very lucrative. It is a very lucrative business. So if you give your time or your money to a company for a product for any reason, you should expect the best. Um, and this is such a universal concept that the whole reason that I'm starting to make this video is due to professional wrestling is comical because it's such a niche product that's out there, but one that has always spoken to my soul. Um, I've spoken at length in the past on this channel about how I started off as a WCW kid and how that then there was at the worst possible moment in that company's history when it was unwatchable. I switched over to WWF at the time, now WWE, and that was really the only option that I had to watch wrestling for a while. And it filled a void. It was fantastic. It made me love wrestling again, but then it started to slowly fade. And as things change and time has gone on, I had always wished, especially in the mid 2010s, that there was, competition. There was something to spur them to change, to go back to the TV 14 product, to what I grew up in, right? To when wrestling was what made wrestling is the most popular it ever had been. And so, um, 2017 changed my life when Kenny Omega had that match with Kazuchika Okada at Wrestle Kingdom, and it opened my eyes to a whole new product, and that was in the beginning of 2017. At the beginning of 2018 at the Royal Rumble, that was when I was just like done. I was just done, honestly, with it at that point, and I can't remember exactly why I decided that. I just know that I couldn't tell you exactly what it was. I just know that I watched the Rumble in 2018. It felt soulless. I didn't feel entertained. I felt whatever I felt. And I was just like, I'm done with the company. I'll just watch New Japan pay-per-views or something. And then of course, All In happened shortly thereafter, and then the announcement of AEW, and that got me all excited. And that literally answered the what I had seen online at the time was this prayer by a multitude of wrestling fans that they wanted the Monday Night Wars to return. They wanted rival companies. They wanted a company to rival WWE and if for nothing else, to really motivate them. And since that day, even before the company started, it was just complete toxicity online. It was completely different than what I had experienced before um, as a wrestling fan, because when I was in the 90s, I wasn't on like internet chat rooms, right? I wasn't that internet wrestling fan. But now I was in that environment in 2019 when this all started, and it actually kicked off my Twitter addiction. And I've talked at length in other videos before about how that really led to the most negative mental state I probably have ever been in my life. And I really did not gain any joy from wrestling like I used to when I was a kid. So cutting that out, cutting out social media, cutting out internet friends that I could talk to about this niche really helped in that regard, because when you're tied into that ecosystem, everyone is just feigning outrage all the time and just complete negativity because everyone is seeking attention on that platform. So getting off of X, getting off of Twitter, helped me restore my faith and enjoying uh, pro wrestling again. And I can still hang my hat on the fact that I can say that I haven't supported WWE at all since 2018. And even then, um, Not that they were even doing anything nefarious at the time. They were still putting on some sort of watchable product, I suppose you could say. Uh, I didn't enjoy it, but in comparison to what it has become now, under the TKO era, it's night and day. And I get it. I get that TKO had spent tons of money. They overpaid for WWE and are not getting the payout. They're not seeing the benefits of owning it, and now they're in debt, and they need to milk the consumer dry. And they need to nickel and dime you at any moment, and it's not your problem. It's not your problem as a consumer. If you are, doesn't matter what the company is doing or how far in debt they are. They are making you pay a premium to watch an event, and then there's ads during the event. There's ads all over everything, and then they're literally just stretching every segment out as long as it possibly can. And because you identify so much with this brand, you're willing to defend every single move that they do. And it's really weird. It's really weird behavior. I talked about it in yesterday's video, but when your identity is tied to something outside of yourself, um, and you are not in control of it, and you have no say really in what happens, um, all you're doing is setting yourself up for negativity, to have a victim mentality, um, to lose. You're setting yourself up to lose in that situation. No one's going to respect you. No one's going to be impressed with you. That your entire persona is defending a brand of pro wrestling, or a clothing brand, or the brand of whatever phone you have, or anything like that. No one anywhere is going to respect you for that. You might make a friend here and there because you have a commonality between you, but there is no way that that person is actually going to like respect you on a deep level, or that you're going to make an impact on anything based on that. Kind of gotten off topic, looping back into pro wrestling and to how I hold companies accountable. Because again, when I was talking about video games yesterday, I said I had no loyalties to any specific company, and I really don't. If Valve were to, in that example, if Valve were to go ahead and get bought out by Microsoft, or suddenly shift their perspective and start making anti-consumer moves, I would abandon them. Full send. I would 100% abandon them. I don't care how much money I've spent on them at that moment. I can always change it up. Um, but that's why Valve is held to such a high esteem, and in my mind, as it relates to pro wrestling, why AEW is held to such a high esteem. Because I'm not gonna lie, I came on this channel a year or two ago, and I said that when I reviewed Maximum Carnage in 2025, and I said that it was a bad show. Creatively, we were in a bad way, and they needed to pivot. And it was very clear that the AEW that was is not the AEW that is. And from that moment onward, things had changed. I'm not saying I had anything to do with it. I'm a very small channel, but I just thought it was a nice coincidence that I had spoken that out, and enough people had spoken that out, and they pivoted. Of course, very difficult, very difficult to be high on a product when you have such a talented roster, and then Jeff Jarrett's out there saying he's going on his retirement tour, and taking up TV time and all that stuff. Now in hindsight, I can go ahead and say that, oh, that was just a way to write him off TV, and to write, whatever his faction was Satnam Singh and all them, Jay Lethal, out off of TV by just being like, announcing his tour and then squashing him. Not even a squash, just beating him. But I don't want to defend that. I Creative was in a shaky situation. But really, AEW has shown me over the last year and a half is that they can buckle down and make the right moves. They can buckle down and make the right moves, and focus back on what makes them great, and serving us what is actually a great product. and to see the chatter online. And the only reason I know that this is the chatter online is because of YouTubers. Um, that's my only social media right now is YouTube. Is I go on there and I just listen to the talking heads and just see what they say, and like multiple sources, anyways. And that's how I know what the controversies are because everyone's talking about the same stuff all the time. Um, but it's just refreshing to see that so many people are finally waking up to the fact that you deserve better from WWE. And you have for a very long time, right? You are their paying fans, and they get off on swerving you or just shitting all over their fan bases all the time and telling you that they know what's actually best for business and that you don't know and that your tastes are wrong and you don't know anything. And it's when you actually have a company that listens to your feedback and treats you with the respect that you deserve and doesn't insult your intelligence and gives you a great product, then it's night and day. And you wonder then why everyone else is defending it. But I noticed the chatter around Double or Nothing last month when everything shifted, and I thought maybe I should make a video about that. But I overthink stuff all the time, and I was trying to make my channel this thing that it's not, when really this is what I love. I love just lounging out in nature and speaking my thoughts in the morning and sharing them with you all. So if you're here, thank you so much. I appreciate you. And if you're liking what you're seeing over the last few days, like, subscribe, comment, all that fun stuff. It means the world to me. But getting back to the topic at hand, and how it has shifted, you know, Double or Nothing, it had changed. And finally everyone was, it seemed like overnight, everyone was glazing AEW all up and down, which, pay-per-views in AEW is really good. Their weekly TVs are kind of hit or miss. Sometimes you'll have dynamites where nothing really happens. And then you'll have other dynamites where it's very story oriented, and something always seems like it's happening. And it's very up and down. Dynamite to me doesn't always seem like it's must watch, but this last previous Dynamite was really good. Like yesterday's Dynamite was really good. I like that they're focusing on Kenny Omega, and it's very obvious that they're focusing on that whole redemption story arc, and the fact that they can actually play into the Elite are the only members of the entire AEW roster that have fallen to the stipulation of never challenging for the world title again. That's very interesting. Also, seeing what happens with Hangman Adam Page, they've been mentioning him a lot more. Seeing him come back, that would be very interesting. And of course, that leads to Kenny Omega's match with MJF next week. What type of shenanigans will happen? I'm anticipating Kenny Omega loses, and that he but there's shenanigans, right? And that there will be some sort of decision made by Tony Khan that MJF cheated or something along those lines. So at AEW Redemption, it will be Kenny Omega versus MJF. And if the rumors are to be true, then Kenny Omega will win there, and then they'll build to a storied history between Ospreay and Omega at All In Wembley. And it'll be interesting. And the only reason I can see that happening is because AEW has, they like their storied histories, and they've also done MJF versus Ospreay at Wembley Stadium before. Granted, that was just for the All-American Championship, I think is what MJF had renamed it to, or just the American Championship, I can't remember. But either way, that was for a mid-card title, and this is for the whole kit and caboodle now. So, just my thoughts on what will happen there, but ultimately, AEW is serving this great product, in my opinion. And while I don't think that every single Dynamite is must-see, the best way that I watch it is I go to HBO Max, and I wait until my wife goes to sleep, which usually is after AEW is over, and then I just watch the replay, and then I skip the commercials. And if it's a match I do not care about, I watch the entrances. I skip to the ending minute of the match. I see how it ends, and I get filled in as to how it happened. Then the show continues, and I can watch a 2-hour episode of Dynamite in about an hour and a half, hour 15 minutes, hour 20, something like that. And therefore, I skip everything I don't care about. But there are some days where I'm just really wanting to sink my teeth into it, and I watch it live. And no matter how I watch it, I pay for the service. I watch it how I want to watch it, and I get fulfillment out of it, and I'm entertained. So, not really anything to complain about there. And I don't interact with idiots online. So I definitely don't have and no one pisses in my Cheerios with dumb takes. Because we all know that rage baiters get off on baiting fake rage, I suppose. I don't know. It's really interesting to see. And it's really interesting how these videos just morph into what they're morphing. I don't know what I'm going to call this video, but really, ultimately, you deserve better out of whatever it is that you're watching. And you can vote with your wallet all the time. So just vote with your wallet, no matter what it is, even if it's pro wrestling, if it's a niche that people think are silly, but you actually gain enjoyment of it. And hey, fuck the haters. Absolutely fuck them. Because their opinions are pointless in the end. Anyways, guys, if you made it this far, thank you. I appreciate you so much. It means the world to me. There is more to come, as always. And right now, my niche is sitting out on the patio and just recording my thoughts. So, thank you so much. I don't know what I'll talk about next, but like, subscribe, and guys, my name is Ken. And until the next time, I'll see you then.